This is TechCrunch.
Search and rescue missions often happen in areas that are difficult for humans to navigate due to extreme weather, rough terrain, or dangerous conditions like smoke or dust. A researcher at Worcester Polytechnic Institute wants to send robots inspired by bats on these missions instead of humans. Nitin J. Sanket, a professor at WPI, has developed small flying robots with his team that fit in the palm of a hand and use ultrasound, just like bats. These robots use AI-powered software to filter out noise from the ultrasound signals the devices collect, allowing them to spot obstacles within a 2-meter radius. Sanket told TechCrunch, "Search and rescue is done on foot. There are a lot of people who go on foot with flashlights in really harsh conditions and put their lives at danger to save others. We thought drones are the answer because they can cover a lot of ground really fast. They can be agile and quick." Sanket has long been fascinated by aerial robots and drones and how the tech can be retrofitted for real-world situations. During his PhD program, his advisor challenged him to create the smallest robot possible, which sparked his research into taking cues from biology to build smaller machines. Sanket said, "We had to reimagine what a drone would be at that point, which is to go back to biology, because biology does this way better than we can today. How do insects or birds do it with super limited compute and not so good sensing apparatus? Their eyes are not that great, their brains are really small, but they're still able to do these amazing feats of flight." So we started looking at that, and that's what gave rise to my PhD thesis. Sanket built a prototype of a robotic beehive made up of small drones that could pollinate flowers. Despite his efforts, he realized that this application was probably a moonshot and started thinking of areas where biology-based robots could make a difference sooner, which led him to his current project. For the search and rescue robots, the main challenge was building something with the necessary sensors and flying technology without making the robot too large, expensive, or energy-intensive. Sanket said they turned to the ultrasound sensors used in automatic faucets because they require very little power. While that approach worked, the propellers they built on the robots created too much noise, which overloaded the sensor's ability to spot obstacles. To fix this problem, they turned back to bats. Sanket said, "Bats have these special tissues in their nose, ears, and mouth, which adaptively change in thickness and density to modulate the way they hear and chirp sound. We were like, okay, that's super cool. Can we do something like that?" We designed a 3D printed structure to place in front of the robot, which essentially does the same functionally as what a bat does, which is to change the shape of the sound itself. Now that they've been able to get the robots to work, they are working to tackle their next challenge, improving their speed. Sanket said, "We, as human beings, like to try to mimic a lot of things the human brain does. We tend to forget how remarkable other animals are, which are much smaller than us, especially insects and birds, which are much tinier, can actually do remarkable feats of navigation, which I think we don't really see often. I think we should think more as scientists rather than just pure engineers." Crafting a perfect prompt for AI chatbots is often a challenge, so much so that startups are creating roles for prompt engineers. Consumer-facing AI apps are increasingly adding features like suggestion buttons or auto-generated recommendations to nudge customers to use the chatbot more frequently and show them about what the app can do. Hero, a productivity startup founded by former Meta employees, announced a new auto-completion SDK today that will fill in prompts for you based on context. The SDK is currently invite-only and will let developers integrate this tech into their apps. Here is how it works. When you are booking a flight, you might write "book a flight" in the prompt. The autocomplete SDK will start populating fields like to, from, on date, at time, airline, and returning on. You can stop at any point and send the query to the chatbot. This is also useful when you're using an AI-powered image or a video generator, where autocomplete can help you with different parameters like object, style, location, landscape, and camera angle. Notably, Adobe's new feature for creating soundtracks with its Firefly app lets users enter keywords in different sections of a prompt, such as mood, style, and purpose, to easily create a tune. Hero engineer Saharsh Vedi, who worked on this feature, said that usually you need a lot of back and forth with an AI app to get the results you want. With this autocomplete feature, you can get there with fewer prompts, or even just one. The startup's co-founder, Brad Kowalk, told TechCrunch that the company is using a series of models to predict what you might type into a prompt next. With AI autocomplete, we pull forward all the inputs needed to complete an action, finishing it 10 times faster as there are fewer back and forths involved. This unlocks a whole new set of use cases ranging from travel to commerce and adds to customer support, Kowalk said. He added that because there are fewer messages involved, companies operating at scale can save on server costs. Kowalk said that he and his co-founder, Seung W. Lee, thought of building the tech based on their experience working on AR features at Meta. On AR glasses, there are constraints on screen size, so the interface for prompts needs to be simple, like adding parameters to a query. The startup, which raised $4 million in seed funding last year, has secured $3 million in additional funding led by Forerunner Ventures. Kowalk said that in the coming months, depending on the app and SDK growth, Hero plans to raise a bigger round. Hero is testing a version of this technology in its app that helps users find time for a meeting or to catch up with a friend through autocomplete prompts. The feature will be released to users in a couple of months. The company is also in talks with Koa Labs, an ad tech startup, to build AI-powered ads where brands can show up in autocomplete suggestions. That's it from TechCrunch. For more crunchy bite-sized articles like these, go to techcrunch.com.